Vive le français! Bonjour les amis, j'espère que vous allez bien. Today I want to tell you about transportation in France, and what I want to tell you about is the car, la voiture, the car. So France is the country of the car. Everybody wants the car. French people pay the car and everything is expensive. On one side you can say, okay, if you live in the countryside, there is no, it's difficult to live without a car. Why? Because except you live in the city, and you always say in the city center, in the small village, then you have to go around, you have to travel, you have to if you have a kid, you need to drive him to school, or you will have to take the bus, but if he's young, he cannot take the bus, or it's complicated, so you need a car. If you go to work, probably you need to go to take the car, because your working place is not in the city center, it will be an industrial zone. If you want to go shopping, there is the big place with all the shopping mall, you need to go there with the car. If you want, so you will need the car. But the car is very expensive, and in Paris I think you don't need the car, you don't really need the car, especially recently, like even you go shopping, you can take the subway, you can take the bus, you can take many other transportation means, and if you go shopping you can just give a phone call, you order, and then they will deliver to your home, and it's free, the delivery is free. Or you can buy online from the internet and then you will get delivered, so that's what many people do. But yeah, the car is a big budget for French people. It's the main expense. The main expense together with the food and the place where you live. Okay, the home. Okay. So many French people have the car. It's not easy to pass the driving license in France. If you pass the driving license, first you have to pass Code de la Route, which is a written exam where you need to pass to learn all the rules, the traffic rules, and then you will need to pass the driving part and learn how to drive. So it's not easy to pass le Code de la Route, le permis de conduire. The Code de la Route is the part that you need to learn all the rules, the traffic rules. This part is very tricky because the questions, they will ask you many tricky questions. Once you pass le permis de conduire, you are allowed to drive. They will give you a license, a driving license, permis de conduire. This license can be used all over the European Union. And you can also get an international license, and there are many partnerships with many countries, so you will be able to use this license in many places, in Australia, in the USA, in Canada, you will be allowed to drive. However, what happens is that once you have the driving license, you'll get 12 points, and if you commit some, you don't respect the regulation, then you commit some infraction, you will get some penalty, and you will get a fine, and you will lose the point. And if you reach 0 points, then you lose your driving license. You will get back the point every few years. You will win the point, you know. But if you do anything that you drive too fast, you will lose the point. You will lose the point, you know, and then you will lose your driving license in the end. Okay, that's the society of the car. It's a bit sad that you have so many cars in France. Why? Because the car is an issue. First is the issue for the pollution. You have a lot of pollution. Now the government was saying, oh, we need to do the electrical car, it's good for the environment. But then people are not so stupid, so they know, no, it's not good for the environment, because you have the battery, and the battery is a lot of waste, maybe the waste is even worse, and then the electricity comes from the nuclear power plant, so the nuclear power plant is not good for the environment, or at worst it will come from the coal fuel power plant, so the coal is not good for the environment. But now more and more people have the electrical car. I would suggest that you buy the electrical car, not for the environment, because you don't care about the environment, and anyway there is a huge pollution with the car, with any type of car, so that's not the way to go. But if you have no choice and you need the car because you need to go to work and you need to bring your kid to the school, so you have no choice because you are living in this society, so the choice for you is very limited. But if you have the electrical car, you can save a lot. Because you know the car is expensive. One big cost in the car is the oil. The oil is very expensive. Why? Because in France we have many tax on oil, on the oil. So when you pay the oil, maybe I have seen online and some people they were saying each month I have to pay about 180 euro just for the oil, just the price of the oil. And when I switch to the electrical car, and with the electrical car I will pay 30 euro each month. So you see, you can save a lot. And if you are very, very clever, maybe you can even, but that's illegal, but you can still do it because nobody can check. Even though it's illegal, you can have a plug, off-grid plug. So it means you get the free electricity to plug in your car. So I think there will be more and more people doing this. Of course, electric car doesn't go so fast. Maybe you cannot take the highway with it, or you cannot go so far away. But that's okay. Anyways, there's always a lot of traffic jam everywhere. So that's my advice. Okay. Bon, à bientôt les amis. Au revoir.